Rand Ridley is the main antagonist of Netflix adult animated series Inside Job. He is Rand Ridley's toxic, dependent, and neglectful father, Temeko Ridley's ex-husband and the co-founder of Cognito Inc. While initially appearing as likely a deeply hurt and broken man, in truth he is a manipulative, self-centered, power-hungry sociopath who cares little about Rand other than for his own benefits and selfish advantages. Although not many details about his earlier life have been revealed, it is clear that at a point in his adult life, he co-founded the company Cognito Inc. with Jr., the purpose of which was to keep the public from finding out about the various conspiracies surrounding the world, which in the show's universe are mostly true, for example the fake moon landing or the hollow earth theory. He then married a Japanese woman named Temeko and had a daughter, Reagan, because he was absorbed by maintaining his name in Cognito Inc. and the power it gave him, as well as believed that emotionality makes people weak. He exhibited little to no empathy to his daughter, not even bothering to hug her in difficult moments, instead tasking it with his bear-like robot creation, Barrow, which has repeatedly ambushed and traumatized Reagan throughout her life, leading her to repress the memory of the robot and develop a defense mechanism of punching people when they tried to hug her. Since she exhibited a lot of technological genius similar to his at an early age, Rand made her skip the rest of elementary and middle school in her 4th grade, which involved erasing her memories of her only friend Orrin Carthway, so she wouldn't be held back by their friendship from graduating as soon as possible and joining him at the company to preserve his influence and become his insurance policy in case he was ever fired by Jr. Sometime later, he had divorced Temeko and lost all connection he had with her, endlessly and furiously arguing with her whenever he had the time. After he was actually fired as an elderly man and fully replaced by Jr., Rand moved to Reagan's house and let himself go completely, drinking uncontrollably and repeatedly transplanting himself new livers to avoid lethal liver damage, becoming infuriatingly dependent on Reagan, nearly exposing the world conspiracies in random places, and becoming obsessed with upstaging Jr., and reassuming his position in the company through any means necessary, even once widespreading the flat earth theory to his advantage and defaming Jr. through his YouTube channel. Reagan, in turn, started to become more and more aware of his devious influence inflicted upon her throughout her work misadventures, and once, fed up with his obnoxiousness and dependence, voluntarily embarked on a flight to the moon to inspect a homing call from the real Buzz Aldrin, who stayed on the moon following his landing in 1962 with a group of sex cultists to become a hostile colony to the Earth. After getting there with her work partner and best friend Brett Hand, Reagan not only found out that the colony has become friendly and utopian since the moon landing, Rand also had stowed away with her, to her and Buzz Aldrin's, who already had his beef with Rand, fury. A distracting power outage of the colony provoked Reagan and Aldrin to investigate and fix it, while Rand was being held captive and at Brett's supervision. Rand, furious at Reagan's suspicion of Aldrin being her true father, decided to make a DNA test to prove he is in fact her real father. After making a DNA test device and gaining Brett's trust, he escaped his confinement and headed out with Brett to find his glasses. When he spotted them on the moon's surface, along with them he discovered Neil Armstrong's body with a bullet in the head, deducing Aldrin had killed him for beating him to be the first man on the moon, and rushed to save Reagan from him. After Aldrin exposed himself as both a murderer and a pervert, Rand helps defeat him and admits his obnoxious nature to Reagan, partially reconciling with her, and confirms he in fact is her biological father as the test says.
What? I knew it! You got half your mother's genes and half blessed with mine.
The two remain on frenemy terms when landing on Earth. On the day of Reagan's promotion to become the CEO of Cognito Inc. and Jr. becoming inducted to the Shadow Board, a mole was found to have stolen sensitive data. Because of that, Jr.'s promotion was resumed, and Reagan tasked with locating and identifying the mole. After a while of a chaotic hunt, Rand had dropped from the ceiling, revealing he had wanted to celebrate Reagan's promotion. When Reagan's coworkers deduced he had stolen the data, Reagan decided to defend her father from the team. Barrow suddenly revealed himself to be the mole, as he wanted Reagan to get fired from a job she hates to finally be happy, his highest priority. He then blamed her state on her coworkers, deciding and forcing Reagan to deactivate him. the only thing stopping her being that she had forgotten the deactivation password. She and Rand go inside her mind to uncover the password, during which Rand attempts to hide the half-erased memories of Oren from her, which she deduces after a time and subdues him to investigate herself. Uncovering the truth and losing trust in Rand completely, she awakens along with Rand and Brett and deactivates Barrow with the password, Oren. When Rand tries to callously defend himself in vain, saying that genius people like he and Reagan are above normal people like Oren as an excuse for his awful actions.
There are special people like us who should run the world, and then there's normies like Oren who deliver our pizza and fight our wars.
She ultimately rejects him and throws him out of her home. A day later, celebrating her victory, Reagan is informed by the Shadow Board that she has been degraded from her position for the chaos she and her coworkers inflicted upon the building during the mole hunt, while JR has been imprisoned for his many crimes against the board. They then reveal they have replaced her with the most experienced worker, and their biggest shareholder, Rand. As he wickedly reveals himself and promises his daughter they will have equal working conditions, a bewildered and enraged Reagan curses him out.
Oh, you motherfucker!
So, that was it for today's video. Hope you guys liked it. And make sure to support this channel by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.